Welcome back to Eye on Politics. It's a rare opening for a statewide office. Texas Comptroller Glenn Hegar is the sole finalist to become the chancellor of the Texas A&M University system. Governor Abbott will appoint a successor to fill the role until after the November 2026 election. So far, 2 Republicans have announced they will run for the seat. Christy Craddock, the chair of the Texas Railroad Commission, which oversees the oil and gas industry, and Don Huffines, a businessman who served as a state senator in Dallas and who ran for governor in 2022. I spoke with Comptroller Glenn Hegar in January about the state's nearly $24 billion surplus and how it differs from the record $33 billion surplus from 2 years ago. We also discussed property tax relief.
So the growth in the last 2 years, while it was positive, it wasn't this record growth. It was much more modest. So a lot of what we have in the cash carryover balance this session, as the legislature starts on the budget, is really a large part that was left over from last time.
So how much of this nearly $24 billion is left over from the last time?
Yeah, great question. The vast majority of it, a good portion of it, I'd say every bit of half plus more is left over, but then also a piece of it was the legislature last session had intended to add additional dollars into the public education school system. That was $4.5 billion. However, those dollars, that the legislation that was required to enact that funding didn't happen. And so part of this is left over.
Property tax relief is going to be on the table again based on my conversations with lawmakers.
Yeah.
And I believe your agency just published the latest findings from the latest year of 2023.
Yeah.
And it showed that property taxes, despite the property tax cuts, the relief that the legislature passed for school taxes, they still went up by less than 1%, which of course was a lot lower than what they did back in 2022, which led the outcry.
That's correct.
But when you still look at county property taxes, city property taxes, they each went up by 10%, and then the special districts went up 22%.
Right.
So doesn't that just negate everything, really?
Well, you can look at it, these over here negated this, or thankfully the legislature took action over here, or it would be even more. You're not going to swallow the whole apple at one time, but you got to take a bite. You got to try to take a step on solving a problem. And if you solve enough problems, then you get further along to a solution, which is what you and I, the residents of the state, the taxpayers, want.